Hi, this is Joyce Black. Coming to you today with just encouragement on starting your first book and just having a unique voice. Welcome to my channel if you have not been here before, but I like to share information on writing books and also on how to just help you stay focused to get started. If you're interested in writing a book, if you need ideas or whatever you're dealing with or whatever's stopping you from moving forward, I wanted to share some information. So the first idea is just to appreciating who you are and your perspective. When you're writing your first book, your ideas are yours. So they won't sound like anyone else's. And what can your perspective do for someone else? We all think differently. And when I remember when I was younger and I would feel nervous about something, my mom would always tell me, just be yourself. And I didn't understand it when I was younger, really small, but it makes so much sense when you have the things that are placed in you because of the life you've lived, the people you've been around. So the only perspective that counts for you right now when you're writing is your perspective because it's coming from your point of view. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, you're sharing and it's coming from your heart. Now, be true. Don't try to be like anyone else because in that case you'll fail because you can only be you when you're writing a book. So um, don't doubt what you want to share. Share whatever you're deciding to write about. Be true to yourself. Don't try to imitate anyone else's writing, but appreciate your perspective and what you're going to bring to your audience that you share your book with. When you're authentic, readers they can see through the fluff and they know when you're being real because of how it resonates with them. So remember that when you're sharing something or writing a story, because people want the real you. They don't want someone else's point of view. If it's coming from you and you're sharing ideas, they want something that you actually thought about. Your voice matters in that situation because they bought it to hear your perspective. So, depending on your book, you want to look at different types of books like your book, and you want to see what they're sharing and come from your perspective if it's the same type of topic. If it's something you've read like long ago and you said to yourself, I would do this differently if I wrote a book. Well, here's your chance to do it differently because I know at least I've done that when I read a lot of books and I would think of a different ending, like I would have ended it this way. I would have added this to the book. Why did they? So when you're writing a book, if it's fiction, hmm, you can make up whatever and it works because it's your idea. If it's nonfiction, that's a little different, but just remember that it's coming from you. You're looking at the different authors you've read over the in the past and their style of writing, but you have a style that may be similar, but it's your style, so it makes it different. And depending on the genre you're writing on, again, it's your perspective. So value your perspective in writing. Don't try to be like anyone else. You can only be the best you. Okay. Um, I just, I really want you to get started and embrace what you're going to write about. And you want to also, once you begin, you want to have a routine of writing. So I know I've mentioned this before in one of the talks I did when I was given the steps, what's important. You have to set up time for yourself. Writing is important to you. So then, just like anything else on your schedule, if you say, I'm going to write every Monday night, write every Monday night. If something else comes up, reschedule that writing time. Maybe you'll do it on Tuesday morning if you're available. But remember, that writing time is important to you so that you can finish and go to the next step in your book writing journey. Setting aside time 2 to 3 times a week will make a difference in how soon you finish a book or how accomplished you feel. If you don't keep a promise to yourself, it may delay your writing experience. It'll delay how soon you can finish your book. So your book is important. Therefore, keep a promise to yourself and write when you say you're going to write. And if an emergency comes up, put it on the schedule again and stick to it. This is just to help you. And each time you do that, you gain more confidence in your writing. And before you know it, you'll be close to finishing and getting it to the next level where you can go over a second draft of your book, where you're reading it over and you're making changes. But remember, keep the promise to yourself, set up a routine, and let it be something you look forward to whenever it's on the schedule. Okay, I get to go to dinner today, and then tomorrow I get to finish another chapter of my book, or I get to organize this chapter of my book. And I have ideas already written down of what I'm going to talk about, or what I'm going to explain, or the characters I'm going to develop, or whatever you planned. Just stick to it and keep a promise to yourself. And each time you do that, it helps. It really does, because it makes it feel like it's important, which it is, because it's for you. Um, when you're getting close to finishing your book, you may want to seek advice from someone that you trust, someone close to you, to read maybe a few pages or a chapter. And just, if it's someone you've shared this with, ask them for their feedback. Does this sound like I'm on track for this topic? Or would you do anything differently? Especially if it's a fiction book that you created. You can ask a trusted friend, family member, their opinion. And even if it's something that's nonfiction, it could be a job that you do with someone. You can have them look it over and say, hey, you forgot this. We also do that. Or you may want to add this because it's really important and the reader they would want to know about that. So seek someone that you trust that's not going to tear apart whatever you've written and make you feel like quitting. You want to have someone that you trust, that you can genuinely talk to. They can give their advice, and then you can decide, okay, that's good advice. I'm going to listen and do it this way. Not that they're going to rewrite your book, but just give you their opinion on what has been written so far. That's important, okay? And when you're writing, if ideas come up, I know I've said this before, just jot them down on the side on a piece of paper and keep going. I mean, influences are great, ideas are great, but don't get distracted. If you're in your writing period time where you've promised yourself an hour or 30 minutes or whatever. Don't let incoming thoughts distract you from your purpose during that time. Jot it down and keep going because there's a lot of things that can influence us when we're focused on getting something done. Okay. And that's important because you don't need distractions. Turn off the phone. Let whoever's in the house know, hey, I'm going to write for an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, and I don't want to be disturbed. It's nothing that's so important that I have to be disturbed during this time. So just keep a promise to yourself whenever you're on your writing schedule because there's a lot of things that can influence you. Also, if you're writing on a specific topic, mystery, love, drama, whatever, there are other things that can influence you. If you watch a movie and you think, wow, that's a great idea, beware of putting it in your book without citing it. You have to give information on why you chose to write this into your book and the author, the television show, whatever, needs to be referenced so that you're not in trouble for plagiarism. Because believe it or not, we watch things and hear things daily. And sometimes it seems like it's new, but then things get, you know, jumbled and you think, oh, that's a great idea. And you don't do anything with it right away. But then when you sit down to write, you're like, hey, I just thought of this. This would be great. No, remember where it originally came from because you you don't want it to be plagiarism. So just try to always give credit to where you get your information from because it can come back to bite you and if you don't cite where it's from. So try to remember when you're writing something, like I said, fiction, because we see a lot with internet, Facebook, wherever you are, social media. Remember where the ideas originally came from and give them credit for it. All right. That's important. Also, when you're writing, you want to trust your instincts about your ideas that are authentic to you. If you're writing a story, a short story, and you've made it all up and you like the ending and you think this is a great ending and you let someone else read it and they say, you know what, it's a great ending, but I would do it this way. And you thought about that originally, say, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to stick to what I want because I think this is a better ending. Stick to your instincts because it was originally your idea in that case. And if you had thought about what they said and you know it's not going to work because it doesn't seem realistic, trust your instincts in that and just know why you trust your instincts on certain topics. Not that they're not correct to think a certain way, but that's not what you want. It's your book. You can end it the way you want if it's a fiction book that you've made up. So I really appreciate authors and their ideas when it comes to stories, fiction, science fiction, romance, because everyone thinks differently. And that's what makes reading such a great experience, or even listening to audiobooks. Everyone's opinion, it does matter. Not everyone's going to agree with what you write, but know that if it came from the right place when you wrote it and you meant to entertain or to inform, then that's what matters. It does not have to please everyone. Not everyone will be your audience. So if you see, if you read part of a book in the library and you say, I don't really care for that story. You just leave it there. Or if you bought a book or someone gave you a book, because they know you like certain types of books, but you read it and you don't really, it's because that author doesn't write according to what you like. Not saying that it's wrong, but not everyone likes every author. So once you find the author that writes the way you enjoy reading it and reading their stories and how they end their books and how they do different twists and turns with the characters, you look for that author because it met the need for your reading. And the same with you when you begin your book and you're writing it. If you click all the boxes that you intended to, that's what matters. Not everyone will enjoy it, not everyone will want to read it, but you have to be okay with that because you wrote it for a different purpose. You wrote it for that audience that wants to read it, the audience that's looking for information like that. And if it's just to inform someone, to help someone, then you accomplished what you set out to do. So I just wanted to talk to you and let you know, when you find your unique voice, the things you are trying to share and inform your audience about, enjoy that. Be confident in that and know that that was your purpose. And don't ever feel bad about sharing your purpose to the person or audiences that you are created to reach. And with that, hopefully you can subscribe to my channel and like this video. If you know someone that can appreciate it and interested in writing, hey, send it to them. And thank you for listening, and I will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day, okay? Bye.